Says it will not be commenting on the details surrounding criminal charges against former President Jacob Zuma, at least for now, as it deals with sensitive information involving people's rights. NPA boss Shaun Abrahams gave prosecutors until yesterday to provide him with their recommendations on whether Zuma should be prosecuted or not. The NPA prosecution team took into consideration the former president's representation, which he filed in a bid to stop the prosecution.
It's been 9 years since this historic moment. The NPA dropped the charges against then ANC President Jacob Zuma, paving the way for his ascension to the highest office in the land. But nearly a decade later, former President Zuma's counsel conceded that the decision was irrational, essentially leaving the NPA in the same position it was in back in 2009, to prosecute or not to prosecute. The prosecution team was given until Friday to submit the recommendations to the NPA head.
The National Director will consider those recommendations and request the team to do a briefing for the entire leadership. That is, make a briefing to the National Director and his deputies. So the announcement won't be today, it won't be tomorrow, it won't be next week. They must apply their minds, and then after applying their minds, then they will articulate a date upon which an announcement will be made.
And even then, another possible delay, as Advocate Shaun Abrahams has to honor his commitment to the Council for the Advancement of South Africa's Constitution.
CASAC had written to the National Director indicating that they should be given about 2 weeks' notice before he announces his decision. And the National Director responded and acceded to that request, and therefore we'll have to honor that undertaking.
Abrahams appears unlikely to make the announcement before the Constitutional Court hears argument on his future. Next week, CASAC will lead evidence why the court should uphold a High Court ruling which declared a vacancy for the NDPP position.
We are hopeful that this will provide further clarity in terms of how the National Prosecuting Authority should deal with the decision to reinstate charges against Jacob Zuma.
Aldrin St. Pierre, SABC News, Johannesburg.